Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video from the New World. Today, we finally make our first baseball vid of the channel. Now, the man of the hour is one of the best in the majors and without a doubt the best hitter in baseball. And as a Yankees fan, it breaks my heart after hearing the news. But it's time to discuss the mega deal of Juan Soto taking his talents to the New York Mets. After signing a 15-year deal worth $765 million, is the biggest contract not only in the MLB, but is the biggest contract amongst athletes. With this signing, the Mets have also shifted their odds to the third best on making the World Series. Now, we do have one of the biggest Soto fans on the channel, so I know this is a big topic for my brother Mal. He has been waiting for it. But before we discuss the signing and future of the Yanks, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 10K subs. Turn on those notifications and stay tuned for more content, and comment your thoughts on Soto signing to the Mets. If you're a Yankees fan, let us know how you feel and tell us if you want more baseball content. Mal, after Soto signing this mega deal with the Mets, how much will this hurt the Yankees, and what will we expect to see from Soto down in Queens?
Well, the question about Juan Soto really isn't too much of a topic. He's a pretty consistent player, probably one of the most consistent hitters in this generation. So I don't really want to harbor too much on that. I think that this is a fantastic move for the New York Mets. And I think that I actually like this move a lot because as a Juan Soto stan, I did want him to leave the New York Yankees. I don't think that they as a franchise deserve him and value him and what he brings to the table because they're still so reliant and dependent on the old guard and on this playoff dropper and Aaron Judge, who, as we saw in the postseason and on the biggest stage, you cannot depend on him. He does not deserve that title as captain. I know that there were certain people on his platform that were trying to make excuses for him, but I think it got to a point where he could not even defend that man's play because it was just that bad. Juan Soto played really well in the World Series, played really well in the postseason, and played really well in the regular season. And when I say really well, I mean he was great because he's an all-time great hitter. Now, I will say that what you're getting from a Juan Soto, you're going to get the best hitter in the league. You're not going to get that great of a base runner, but that's not what you pay him for. You pay Juan Soto to get on base. So I think that he'll be great at that third spot in the depth chart from where they're hitting. And of course, we know he's not that good of a defender, even though he was. People want to talk about his defense. He was a finalist for a Gold Glove. So I do want to put that out there because people like to harbor on his defense. But all in all, he got his worth. Honestly, in my opinion, he probably could have got a little bit more than the 765. I was not surprised by that amount. But I think it just goes to show that the Yankees, I was actually surprised that they were willing to offer him 760. Because they are just notorious for not wanting to pay people. I think that we're going to see two franchises in the same city that are going to be going in different directions. I think it's only up for the New York Mets. They have a lot of talent. I like that Lindor and Juan Soto collab back to back. I feel like that's going to be a great tandem. You also still have Pete Alonso, so they have hitting. This is definitely a better team from a hitting perspective than the New York Yankees. New York Yankees cannot consistently drive home runs. And yes, you had Juan Soto and yes, you had Giancarlo Stanton, but that is not enough because I have a guy that's hitting in the third spot and he's giving me nothing. And of course, we know that the people later on in that depth chart are not going to give me anything, but I at least need my stars to be stars. There's a lot more consistency within that New York Mets lineup, so I have more confidence in them as a franchise. And I feel like also there's not as much pressure. I think that when you play for the New York Yankees, there's a certain amount of pressure. It's akin to playing for the Dallas Cowboys in football or playing for the Los Angeles Lakers in basketball. It's a lot of pressure that comes with rocking those pinstripes. Now, Juan Soto, he did live up to that, but we cannot say the same for other people within that roster. And if I'm Juan Soto and I'm looking behind me at Judge, I'm consistently getting on base 33 to 40% of the time, and you're not able to do your job, which is to run bases in. You're not getting runs in. So why am I going to stay here on a franchise where, yes, because we're so great, we're going to win a lot of games in the regular season, but are we going to be able to beat the Dodgers? Because that's the question that you have to ask yourself. You're Juan Soto and you're playing on the New York Yankees. Are we going to be able to beat the Dodgers? Because if we look at the American League is not that tough. So they're going to continue to be there, but you got to be able to get over the hump. And I think Juan Soto looked around and said, I don't think with this current constructed franchise, we will be able to get over that hump. And I think a lot of that falls on the shoulders of Aaron Judge. He has to be better. He has to. He's looking like the Joel Embiid of baseball. I mean, we just have to be honest. So I think that this is really just a bad look on the New York Yankees franchise that they weren't able to get this done. I know people are going to make excuses for him, like, oh, it's only a $5 million difference, but they knew what the money was. They have to take accountability. The Steinbrenner family has to take accountability for not being able to get this deal done. Hats off to Juan Soto. He's going to continue to be a great player. And I see, potentially MVP coming up because in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, he was the best player on that Yankees team for the entire season.
Yeah, I'm very, very disappointed in the Steinbrenner family. I'm not going to lie. I just heard from recent reports that their best offer was a 16-year, $760 million deal. That was after the Mets, had the deal with Juan, eventually. But their first deal to Juan was a 15-year, $712 million deal. For a franchise like the Yankees, you kind of expect more, especially from this franchise, all the iconic moments. They're the most historic franchise in the league. You kind of expect them to, pitch out a bit more. I'm not really, slighted by it because, this is what I expected. I didn't expect Juan to stay here for more than a year rental, to be honest. I'm hearing a lot of discourse talking about, Juan's going to miss, hitting in front of Judge. I don't think he is really. This is going off the postseason play. I was very baffled seeing on social media people were saying that he was going to miss hitting in front of Judge. I was like, dude, this dude Judge is the biggest playoff dropper I've ever seen, in MLB. And y'all was going to say that. Overall, I think this was a really good deal by the Mets. They're gonna be paying him for a long time though. Just going off estimates, I'm being my mid-30s once this is done. That's gonna be how long they're gonna be paying Juan. But just based off calculations, I think his on-base percentage going into 2039 is gonna be 390. So that's gonna be really, really high. Juan as a player is really good getting on base, really good hitting at that three spot. As Mal said, with the duo of him and Lindor, that'll be very, very interesting to watch. The Mets have a really interesting team. Very excited to see where that goes for. And I think just the big takeaway from this is just the loss that the Yankees took, and it's a calculated loss that I knew they was going to take. I just predicted them to make a decision like this, and they were going to fail. And you really got to look at the family, and it's like, bro, what are y'all doing, man? We know y'all got the money, y'all just don't want to use the money, and that's understandable to a certain degree, but you play your best players, and especially Juan Soto had a great performance in the playoffs, and your best player, your MVP, underperformed. As Mal said, the bottom of the order isn't that good. We just got standing those guys, Jazz. So you wasn't really getting much production from anywhere else, and you got beaten a 5-game series. So I'm not really expecting much from the family. This is honestly a big miss from them. But I'm excited to see how Juan plays with this deal. This is the richest deal in sports history, I think. This is it's crazy. This is more than the Ohtani deal, and Ohtani got 10 years, $700 million. I'm glad Juan got his money because I thought, the holdup and all the issues and controversy going in after the World Series, I thought I thought it was kind of hilarious. I was like, it's so obvious that they're not going to give him the money he wants or the money he desires, especially for a team that you don't really expect making any motion down the line, especially with how their roster is set up right now. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I'm happy Juan got paid, bro. Hey, I'll be glad to see bro in the Mets jersey because honestly, I was thinking about getting a Lindor jersey. I may have to get a Juan, Mets jersey. I got to see if he stays there long because he's been doing these 1-year rentals for the last couple of years. So
well, they got that man top for 15 years, so he's at least gonna be there for 5
I heard he had an opt out for 5. Yeah, after 5. So okay, yeah.
I think he'll definitely be there for the 5. But I will say this: you said something. You were like, he's pretty good at getting on base. No, sir, he's actually the best at getting on base. If we just look at, he's the modern day Ted Williams.
I understand that. I'm just saying. I was just saying he's really, really good at getting on base. I was just saying that. That's what he excels at. You feel me? So yeah, I was just saying. I wasn't saying he wasn't the greatest ever. I was just saying he's really good at getting on base.
Yeah, because when you're hitting early in that lineup, that's what I tell you guys is really, really important is getting on base, because guys that hit at that 3-4 spot, I'd really say that 4-5 spot, those are your power cleanup hitters like Judge. We're dependent on you with Juan Soto and guys early in the lineup and getting on base. We are depending on you to drive home runs. That's what you're supposed to do, and he did not do his job. So all these guys that are saying, oh, Juan, he's gonna miss. Like, no, Juan did his job, and he's continued to do his job, which is get on base. And he had 41 home runs on the season. Like, I don't really understand what people are saying. This is just him being consistent and doing what he's been doing since he was with Washington. Like, he even did this on the Padres as well. So I don't really know what people are talking about. This is a transcendent talent. It's just the Yankees, man, not being able to capitalize because they're cheap. It's very, very Jerry Jones-esque.
Many Yankees fans were saying that, you know, they only wanted guys to be here, so they were kind of outcasting him. Like when he got there, like that, you know, Yankees fans, they're kind of crazy. So they were saying some stuff like that, even though he's one of the best players in the league. You know, it's kind of crazy to be like, you know, we only want guys that really want to be here. You feel me? So unserious.
Well, it looks like they also want guys that can't win, because if you take him off that team, they do not win, because they had plenty of games during that regular season that were like 3-1, like very, very low scoring games. And it's because they could not get consistency from their lineup. But he was consistently getting on base and driving home runs when he is hitting second. So Yankee fans, they can say all that they want, but they are not getting World Series anytime soon. So hopefully they enjoyed that, because I mean, before this past season, last time they'd been in the World Series was 09. So you basically had a 15-year drought, and you're talking, oh, we only want people here that want to be okay.
Man, I'm hurt. Like DJ Khaled said, it breaks my heart. But
why?
Because
we told you what was gonna happen. I told you before the season.
I know. But yeah, man, the Yankees, these niggas are cheap. This ain't nothing new. And I really think the only way that Soto was actually going to stay was if the Yankees were like the highest paying team, and it would probably have to be by big margins. You know, the Mets, they gave him $765. The Yanks probably would have had to give him like 16, 8, 10, something like that for him to possibly consider it. I'm not mad at the move, because you want to go to a team that's going to help you win. And the Yankees, even though without Juan Soto, I know they're gonna be fine in the regular season. They still gonna make it to the playoffs and all that. But in the postseason, it's kind of wraps. Our best bet was winning this past season, and shit the bed. Everybody else shit the bed except for Juan Soto. Guys will step up in different times throughout the World Series and not consistently like Soto did. This deal, I mean, it's amazing to see for Juan Soto. It's definitely well deserved. And for the Mets, all I can say is, hey, make sure you keep the Dodgers from making the World Series. That's all I want to say as far as that. But that lineup is gonna be crazy. That tandem between Lindor and Soto, and then you got Pete Alonso who's still playing, who didn't decide to retire. So I mean, you got some hitters right there. And then if you got Lindor at 1 and maybe Soto at the 2, I'm gonna be praying for them pitchers. It hurts to see this, but I mean, the Yankees, like, it's frustrating to see that there's no initiative to really try and win like everyone expects you to, because I mean, they're putting all their faith in a guy who's consistently and statistically shown he's not going to show up in the playoffs. You got to do who will show up in the playoffs, and you don't even necessarily try and keep him for real. It's like they're putting all their eggs in the basket and still gonna wait for Aaron Judge to make his playoff appearance for real. If we're being honest, we aren't gonna see that. He might show it a game or two, but it won't be on a consistent level. I don't see the Yankees making the World Series like no time soon. Like these guys been saying, the Yankees, one of the biggest franchises, they got all that money, because I mean, the only big person they're paying is Aaron Judge. And if I was the Yankees, I'd be trying to be like the Dodgers. I mean, they just got Blake Snell. They're playing now and they're paying their guys later. Like they just throwing out all this money. And the Yankees could literally be doing that, because the Dodgers, I mean, they taking advantage of it right now. And they trying to win. They trying to win now, and then they can pay these guys later. But the Yankees, they don't care about all that. They want to be, cheapskates. And they want to keep on, depending on the same guys all the time, which is not going to get the job done. And it hasn't for the past multiple years. Like Mal said, the Yankees haven't been to the World Series, before this past season since 2009. If the Yankees want to ever get back to there, something's going to have to change within that organization. They're going to have to get more guys, because if you keep on settling with these guys, you're not going to, get over that hump and win one, because, I mean, it's not enough. We don't have enough consistent hitters.
Man, that Aaron Judge jersey losing value. They need to be burning that shit.